morning, Lemonheads. How are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm out of town. So I had to go out of town on a bit of an emergency. I'll tell you later what's going on. We'll figure it out. But anyways, welcome. And as you know, as you always call it, Murphy's Law, pulled out a shirt this morning, right out of the dry cleaning bag. And guess what? Spill coffee or something all over it. Coffee or something. Anyway, so I had to change real quick. So I'm a little bit late, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Good morning. 700K incoming. Yes. Who said that? Ghosty. Amen. Where are you streaming from? How are you guys doing? Oh boy. Anyways, yes. Good morning from Tampa, Dawn. Hi from Miami. Hi, everyone. So, yeah. Anyways, I got a lot going on. I'll explain to you later. But anyway, it's a lot. And I'll explain to you. But I just wanted to say hello and just tell you guys to say prayers and, yeah, for me and my family. And that's it. So thank you. All right. Hi from Texas on the TikTok. Remember, if you're on, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. And you subscribe to keep the independent folks working, and we will tell you why. I can explain to you why in just moments of this show, because you guys know, wow, Norway, Elizabeth on TikTok. Hello from Norway. You guys know that we have problems in this country. And you guys know that we need independent journalists, especially when you consider what's going on in the world. Especially when you consider what's happening with corporate media. I have several examples. I like receipts. I like to show you what's up, okay? And my question is, as we start this hot topic show this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. where I am Central in Louisiana. As we continue this, I want to show you some receipts and what's going on. I have to ask you a question. Do we live in the United States of America, or is this North Korea? And I'm not just... Do we live in the United States of America, or is this North Korea? I'm not even half kidding, because I wanted to know if you caught that White House cabinet meeting yesterday. And this is what the young folks call, you guys have heard of a glaze fest, right? I love that you guys are so interactive this morning. We really don't know if we live in North Korea. You know what a glaze fest is? The young folks call it a glaze fest or a glaze-a-palooza. I don't know if you saw that White House cabinet meeting. It was embarrassing. Trump is tanking the economy. He's destroying America, small business sector. He is sending innocent people to gulags, what folks are calling a concentration camp in El Salvador. And yet, if you just paid attention to that cabinet meeting, it seems like everything is great. No reason to be concerned. Everything is wonderful. As a matter of fact, he's telling you, look, Americans, I'm going to get what I want, even though it's not good for us. And you're just going to have to deal with less money, fewer toys, gifts, things for your kids. It's really unbelievable. I don't think that these people actually hear themselves sometimes. Now, I want you to sit back. I have a coffee because it's a little bit earlier where I am. I don't know what you have and what you're doing. I don't know. But I really want you to sit back and look at this creepy cabinet meeting, as someone said. It is creepy. It's scary. And it's embarrassing for the country. All right? Are you guys ready for this? This is the start of my lesson plan today that I have prepared for you. So everyone pay attention. Here it is.
He's actually doing the things that he promised that he would do. And Mr. President, it's been an honor to be part of it for the past 100 days.
Mr. President, the last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden. And then we've had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
President, your first 100 days has far exceeded that of any other presidency in this country, ever. Never seen anything like it. Thank you.
President Trump, in your first term, when I had a chance to work you as governor.
All right. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. She is right about that. And did you guys see Mike Walls? Was he wearing orange lipstick? Is everybody wearing orange lipstick at this table? Mike Walls, Mr. President, it's your leadership. Please don't fire me. Please don't fire me. I'm sorry about Signalgate. I'm sorry that I put Jonathan Greenblatt, Greenwald on the thing. Greenberg, sorry. Goldberg, Jeffrey Goldberg. I'm sorry I put Jeffrey Goldberg on the thing. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't fire me. You're the best president ever. You just done the best job. And then Pam, I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, you're right. We've never seen anything like this shit. Back it up a little bit and then let's go, Andy.
You.
President Trump, in your first term when I had a chance to work with you as governor, you were courageous. The thing that's empowering this amazing group of people around this table, and you've probably assembled the greatest cabinet ever, is that this time you're not just courageous, you're actually fearless.
Doug Burgum. I thought Doug Burgum supposedly had some morals and like he could, I mean, yeah, it is gross. Everyone who's putting up the little barf faces, you are 100% correct. What the hell is this? Can you imagine? Do you do that to your boss at work? Do you do that to your supervisors? Have you ever seen so many suck-ups? No. And do you remember that happened during his first term? Now, I have never seen any group of people, cabinet appointees or anyone do that to Biden or Obama, who were much better presidents, who had much better economies, who cared about the American people much more than Donald Trump. And that is just not my opinion. Those are facts. The fact that everyone got to take turns kissing his ass says, Tyke, Taylor, it's really unbelievable. Treating him like a king. And yet we have so many problems going on in the country and in the world. And let me tell you, this is how you know they're doing this for purpose. As I've been telling you since I have been doing this show, since he got reelected, that this is all a show. Every day it's produced. Remember I told you that it's produced like a television show. How do we get the media message out there? How do we secure and shape the message for the day every single day? Well, Mr. President, someone said cult behavior. Absolutely. Mr. President, you know, the numbers aren't looking good. We got to do something. So what do they do now? Every morning, it looks like almost every morning, they have a morning press briefing so that they can get ahead of the news cycle and they can try to shape the news cycle. That's what they do every single morning, at least almost every single morning, because we have not had these like 8:00 a.m. Eastern time press briefings or whatever time they are, 8 or 9 o'clock. We've not had that. They've not had that. But since his poll numbers are down, the economy is tanking, prices are up. If you believe them, prices are down. They're not. A glaze fest. Cults are going to cult. The cults are culting. The cult is culting right now. And so now they're trying to get, this is a show, this is a message. Oh, here's what the president is doing today, so that the president can be the news at the beginning of the day. They can't even get their freaking audio straight so that you can hear what is going on. Now, this isn't the network that I'm about to show you. This is not there. And by the way, here's the thing that they don't understand. People aren't watching the networks like that anymore. So they're trying, Donald Trump, this is how they're so stuck in the messaging. Maybe they should take some cues from the campaign people who actually put him on streaming and podcasts where people are actually getting the messages, right? Where they're listening to folks, whether that's good or bad, that is the truth. And so they're putting it on the cable networks in the morning, and people are like, I ain't watching the shit in the morning. So this isn't the network's audio. This is the White House's audio. Watch, they can't even do this right.
Happy to take your questions, but first some remarks. At 11 o'clock, President Trump will participate in a National Day of Prayer event where he will invite Americans of all faiths across the country to join him in asking for God's continued blessings over our great country. During the event, the President will sign an executive order establishing a Religious Liberty Commission. Later today, President Trump will travel to the University of Alabama to deliver a commencement address to the graduating class of 2025. Last night, we saw yet again why President Trump is our deal maker in chief. We secured a historic agreement to establish the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. This is a first of its kind economic partnership for the reconstruction and long-term economic success of Ukraine that both the United States will greatly benefit from. This partnership represents the United States taking an economic stake in securing a free, peaceful, and sovereign future for Ukraine.
Okay, now I'm sorry to put you through that, but I had to. Because sometimes, y'all, God works in mysterious ways with wonders to perform. Because these people live in an echo chamber, God is trying to tell you, do not, because she's like, oh, we're going to do it. God, there was some sort of prayer thing in there. And I was like, well, God does not like this. Because what God is doing is trying to tell people and you that you're living in an echo chamber of bullshit. A nightmare echo chamber. You're right, Heather Capone. And so it could not have been played out more perfectly. Echo chamber, and then they echo bullshit all day. Here's what the president is doing. Please get this out there. This is happening. And he's doing this, and he's doing this today. That can be that's a press release. Why do you need to stand at the podium with Stephen? Who wants to see Stephen Miller that early in the morning? Do you? Can you imagine? That is usually a press release that they send out either electronically, or where they used to do it via the fax, or over the telex, or over whatever, email. Or they used to hand them out in the old days to the big people. This is what the president is doing today. This is his schedule. It's easy. What she's doing is reading a press release that everyone gets in their email every day. When I worked at CNN every day, do you guys have a schedule today? Yeah. Oh, here. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, here it is. Oh, at 8 o'clock, he's doing this. He's got downtime at this time. 10 o'clock, he's doing this. Oh, he's meeting with such and such and such and such at this time. Do we want to cover that? No, I don't think anything's going to come out. We'll send a producer. All right. Oh, this is big. Let's send a correspondent to that. Oh, let's send the White House correspondent to this one because this is really big. There's not much going on. That's all it is. It's just there. She's reading a fucking press release. She's just reading a schedule. Like if you look in your calendar and it says, oh, I have a meeting with this person at this time at 10 a.m. Then I have to meet with a boss. Oh, at noon, I've got the possibility of this new client that I may want to do some business with. And then at 12:30, I'm having lunch with Jenny. That's all she's doing. And do you need to get people in the White House and everything all fired up to our time to reading press release in the morning? That's how you know that they're spinning and that they're scared, because they know what Donald Trump is doing is absolutely ridiculous. I'm so tired of this bullshit because it's like a big emergency press briefing. What happened? Nothing. They're turning nothing, trying to at least into something. And it's absolutely 100% a big freaking goose egg. And how are they trying to spin the tariffs and the terrible, terrible, terrible economy that he has ushered in and is going to continue to tank? How are they trying to spin that? Well, all of a sudden, Donald Trump has become the Grinch that's going to steal Christmas. Because now he's trying to dictate to you, dictator, as I said, North Korea, just how many goods and services that you should be able to afford, and that you're going to all of a sudden have an allotment. You're going to have, let's see, this kid gets one doll, this kid gets two dolls, this kid can't get a bicycle. Sorry, you don't deserve a bike this time. It's a truth, and you don't believe me? Why don't you listen?
Mr. President, when will you speak to President Xi of China?
That'll happen. I mean, look, right now, and I told you before, they're having tremendous difficulty because their factories are not doing business. They made $1 trillion with Biden, $1 trillion, even $1.1 trillion
Bullshit.
with Biden. selling us stuff. Much of it we don't need. You know, somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. But,
Okay, can you please
we're
end
not
this?
talking about.
Can you rewind that? Did you guys hear that? He's telling you, first of all, he's lying about the $1 trillion. He's lying about the factories. China doesn't care. China is not backing down, and you guys are believing it. China is not backing down. And if you look at the internet in China, if you go and look at social media, China is punking the administration, especially JD Vance. They're putting out things on memes on social media of JD Vance and his eyeliner that they're calling eyeliner, making him look like a woman, putting makeup on him, basically laughing at America, laughing at our leaders. They don't care. So all of a sudden he's mandating to you, right? Remember that we're going back to rationing. I wonder how many coffees I can have in the morning. You only get one coffee. You only get one coffee in the morning. And it's interesting because the news folks are covering this and they're losing their audiences because they're covering this as if it is real and they're normalizing it. And then you have the Trump sycophants who don't understand where everything is going. They don't understand where the media is going. They don't understand that more people are on streaming and on social than watching the networks. Why? Because look at what's happening with CBS. Look at what happened with ABC. Look at what happened with MSNBC and going to Kiss the Ring and all of that. Look at what happened. Settling lawsuits, I think, are losing. I mean, CNN lost one. ABC settled or lost one. CBS is now thinking of settling one. It's crazy because they're treating this as if it is real. They're normalizing it. And then you have the Trump sycophants and the trolls who are in the comments who don't understand. And then they don't understand that they will be rationing things. Donald Trump is telling you, he's signaling to you, you don't get $30, you get $2. I don't know anybody who has $30, okay? But I know some kids who get $2 or $3 or $4 for Christmas, maybe even more. But you get a doll, you get a toy car, you get an Xbox or whatever it is that they're doing now, and you get other toys. But now he's telling you, no, this is what you need. Dictatorship. North Korea. Meanwhile, the folks in China, they're going to have as many dolls as they want. And they don't care. Trust me. Keep going.
With Biden selling us stuff. Much of it we don't need. You know, somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. But we're not talking about something that we have to go out of our way. They have ships that are loaded up with stuff, much of which, not all of it, but much of which we don't need. And we have to make a fair deal. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, but China, I would say, is the leading one, the leading candidate for the chief ripper offer. There has never been a country that's been ripped off more than the United States of America.
Yeah, so he's right. So they are the leading candidate, but he is the candidate. He is the lead candidate, not the candidate. He's one. So they would have to take the mantle from him. He is the lead ripper offer. He's ripping off the American people, and he's getting you to believe that it is okay. Except not you guys. You guys are smart. But some of the MAGA brain idiots, he gets them to believe that it is okay, that he's ripping them off. And this is how you should be rationing. So I wonder what the food ration, how many eggs are we going to get? Are we just going to, everybody, you know, you don't need that many eggs. You don't need who needs a dozen eggs? You only need one or two. Each kid just needs one. You either get eggs in the morning, you don't put in a boiled egg and put it in their lunchbox. No, you don't get that. And the $2 in those eggs are going to cost a little bit more. They're going to cost you a couple more dollars. Does he not understand that a couple more dollars for most people in America, that's important? He doesn't have to look at dollars. None of them do. Remember I told you, eating the rich? It's time to eat the rich because we're going back to the Gilded Age, that the only people who liked it were the rich folks. This is the New York Times. The New York Times is even saying Donald Trump sounds like what? Trump on tariffs says maybe the children will have $2 instead of $3. At the end of the cabinet meeting, the president allowed the possibility that the trade war could disrupt supply chains. And what does that mean? That means he is the Grinch that is going to steal Christmas. And you know what I love? I love it when folks are out there who are telling the truth. And you know who's telling the truth? Over on the Fox News. I mean, Love is working. I want you to listen, especially if you are a Donald Trump supporter. Can you please sit and listen to this so that you can hear how ridiculous you sound when you believe that, oh yeah, it's great. This is great. He's not bankrupting. He's doing a great thing. We should just, and look, and when he does something good, I tell you, I said he was smart to make Scott Bessent the Treasury Secretary and not Howard Lutnick. I said he was right about that border crossings are down. But all this other bullshit, he's lying to you. But watch Jessica Tarloff on Fox News. I want you to watch. This is from the 5, which to me, if I don't tune in, but if I ever need a laugh or some comedy, then I'll turn this on. Here it is.
It's like, is it Swiss cheese? That's the holiest of all the cheeses. She's looking at me and smiling at me. We just have to keep looking ahead. So those of you at home know we're still friends. I heard he has nothing to prove. The cabinet's totally in sync and he's crushing it. And if any of that were true, he wouldn't be out there lying about everything from election results to how his first 100 days has been. It is the worst first 100 days for a president in 70 years.
That's not true.
And it's objectively true.
Yes,
actually.
It's not objectively
and
true.
we can't
It's your
interrupt when we're
opinion.
in. No, it's
It's your
based on the
opinion.
data on approval rating. That's what it's based on. The approval ratings for all of the presidents and his being the lowest. The GDP number today was negative 0.3%. It was 2.4% in Biden's last quarter. That's why he was out there today freaking out. That's why he's posting about the stock market and saying this is Biden's stock market when he took responsibility for it on January 29th. And he said, oh, this is my stock market. Now he doesn't want it anymore. And to quote the philosopher king, Dave Portnoy, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. This is Donald Trump's stock market. This is his economy. And the tariffs that he's implementing are destroying the economy. He could have just come in and continued on the course that we were and made some modifications. You want to put more tariffs on China? Probably get a lot of Democratic support for that. But coming in and doing these blanket tariffs and blowing up our system, we have ports that are empty as a result, waiting for those ships to come in that can't come here. We're going to have shelving problems by the end of May. I guess his platform is, I'm kind of the Grinch. Did you hear him talking about Christmas time and how many dolls you're going to get? So the little girl is going to get 30 dolls, but now she's...
Look at their faces. Look at their faces. Look at them. They don't know what to say. They want to say, and they know she's right, but they're like, how can I say something clever? Ha, 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 ha. That's not true. It's your opinion. Right. Keep going.
She's only going to get 2 dolls. The man who brought back Christmas isn't going to deliver for little Cindy Lou Who.
Well, you
I love it. But these MAGA people are freaking out of their minds. Let me tell you guys, if you're a MAGA person, especially if we get it on the TikTok a lot, you're fucking out of your mind. You are the dumbest fucking people I know. If you are still going, yeah, he's okay. Oh my God, the Democrats lost, whatever. Okay, yeah, the Democrats lost, but so did you. So did you. So did all of us. We all lost. We all lost because what? We're all losing our 401ks if you're lucky enough to have them. We're all losing our retirement if you're lucky enough to have it. We're losing our savings. We're losing the quality of life that we had. We're losing dolls for Christmas. And those things that he said that are on the ships and they're just sitting there, and a lot of it we don't need, tell the people who are paying hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for those products that they need to keep their businesses up and running. Speaking of businesses, we're so happy today, right now, that this show, that we have support. Support for this show today comes from, guess what? Shopify, because Shopify wants you, they want to put some of this ka-ching into your pocket. They want to put some money into your pocket, and they want to help you become an entrepreneur. They want to help the small business owners and the big business owners and the e-commerce business owners in this country. They want to help them out, and they want to make it easier. They are making it easier for us as we start to do our e-commerce shop when we do our merchandise. They're making it easier for us. They're giving us, even us, examples as we go on shopify.com/lemon, as we go on and look at examples there, and you can too. And it's for a very, very reasonable price. Okay. I'm going to tell you what the special that they have with shopify.com/lemon. Now, everyone has a dream. Everyone is dealing with the boss now. Companies are cutting back, and perhaps you're like, you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business. I want to work for myself. I want to set my own hours. I want to make my own money. I want to take care of my family and be able to spend as much time with them as possible rather than going in and working for the man. That is where Shopify comes in. Shopify can help with everything, right? It can help you. It is Shopify is a commerce platform behind millions of businesses all around the world. 10% of all e-commerce platforms in this country, all e-commerce brands, etc. Guess what? And that is Shopify. Okay. It is one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the world. And it has helped millions and millions and millions of businesses around the world. Okay. If you need a website, Shopify can help you get your website together. If you need some help with messaging, Shopify can help you do that. It can help you come up with strategies for email strategies, for social media strategies, and on and on. If you just need some ideas, if you get stuck, they have 24/7 award-winning customer support and customer service. So here's what you can do. You can turn your dreams into ka-ching and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. So go to shopify.com/lemon. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/lemon, 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 and turn those dreams into ka-ching. And you really can. So thank you, Shopify. We appreciate your support. And that's what today's show sponsor is, Shopify. Okay, so we have been talking about small businesses, and so has the White House, and so have people around the country. Been talking about small businesses. Now, Donald Trump says all those products that are sitting on ships out there and they don't know what to do because of these tariffs. Some of you need, some of you don't need. Apparently, he hasn't spoken to small business owners. Apparently, he's not listening or speaking to the farmers in this country. Apparently, he's not speaking to the people who have middle-class lives or people who live paycheck to paycheck, because they need some of those products and they need help. They don't need an extra tax on them, an extra tax on the consumer. Now, guess what? Donald Trump has been saying when the stock market is good and the economy is good, this is my economy. This is my economy. Because everyone knows that Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. This is my economy. Okay? Well, now he's saying it's not. And then I have some breaking news. So he is continually blaming Joe Biden for what? For his economy. This is what he's saying. Listen.
The stock market in this case it says how bad a situation we inherited. This is a quarter that we looked at today, and we took all of us together. We came in on January 20th. So this is Biden, and you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden, because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly basis.
Okay, so here's the thing that I want you to know. All right. Remember, I told you about, well, we know that that's not true. All right. We know that they love to just blame Biden for everything. They just love to blame Biden for everything. It's lies, lies, and lies. Okay, guys, you guys ready for the breaking news? Can you gather? Can you gather around the breaking news? Because again, I am right. And when I tell you that you should be happy about some things, remember, I've been so happy about some things. And I told you, look, it may sound all bad now, but I know when they're spinning. I've done this for a long, long time. Old people be knowing. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and the like. Are you guys ready for the breaking news? Are y'all ready? Okay. And I'm going to tell you, come on, gather around, class. There's some people talking in the back and they're not paying attention. Okay. Are you guys ready? Now, I remember I just played you. Can you guys get me? Can you cue it up, Andy? Cue it up to Mike Walls in that meeting yesterday where he was glazing Donald Trump. Just cue it up. And then as soon as you have it queued up, play it. And then I'm going to tell you guys the breaking news. Okay, you guys are ready. Okay, ears open like E.F. Hutton. All right, Andy, you got it?
Yeah, it's ready.
Okay, let's play the cabinet meeting. And no, this is Mike Walls.
President, the last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden. And then we've had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
President, you're first.
Okay. So Mike Walls was the guy that put Jeffrey Goldberg, remember, into the chat accidentally or whatever. And then it became a big scandal. And remember, I told you his days are numbered. Okay, this is what CBS News is reporting right now, guys. Okay, here's the breaking news. Breaking: National Security Advisor Mike Walls and his deputy Alex Wong will be leaving their posts. Multiple sources familiar with the situation tell me. That is from CBS News is reporting that. Now, I told you Mike Walls was not long for this world. And I didn't mean, for the world. I meant for his job. Shut up. Yes, SS Boxer. Shut up. Yes. I told you that. And remember what I told you about Pete Hegseth? A little bit tougher to get rid of because it's going to take some time to find someone and to spin a strategy. Praise the Lord, says Sharon. But stand by for that breaking news. It's going to come. Yeah, I'm telling you, Mike Walls and his deputy Alex Wong will be leaving their posts. Now, here's the thing. I know, Venetia, here's the thing. Jane, I'm telling you, here's the thing, though. There's something. Why is Alex Wong going? There's something that they're not telling us about how Jeffrey Goldberg ended up in that text chat. And maybe they were in on it together. Maybe they feel he's too close to him. I don't know. Or maybe they know somebody is, sourcing it up with the enemy. This is Mark Halperin. Mark Halperin reported on this a while ago. Mark Halperin has this program that I used to watch before the election. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it's two-way. He was musing about this about 30 minutes ago. Here it is.
Take you a little bit behind the curtain. I was headed into my location to do the program, and I got a text from a very nice source who said, "You want to call me?" And it turns out that 3 different people, the original source and 2 others, have confirmed that the plan now by the White House is to remove the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, who was on Fox News this morning, just not that long ago, and his deputy, Alex Wong, and much of the current staff team at the National Security Council, because of unhappiness throughout the national security establishment of how they're doing. The West Wing's unhappy, the State Department, the Treasury, unhappiness. And of course, this was around before Signalgate. It was widely reported that Signalgate, ironically, may have saved Waltz's job because the president didn't want to be seen as if he were giving in to Jeffrey Goldberg, his new best friend. But there's lots of levels of unhappiness, and it's less about Signalgate than it is about, as I understand it from my sources, a general belief that it's not being run efficiently in an organized way. It may not. It may happen as early as today. It may not happen ever because it's Donald Trump. But the plan is for it to happen soon, maybe this weekend. One source says this weekend. We'll see. But the original choice to replace the National Security Advisor for many in the government was a guy named Christopher Landau. He's currently the Deputy Secretary of State. He is said to be doing such a good job and is so valuable to Marco Rubio that Rubio says, no, you can't have my guy.
So there you go. I'm just telling you, whenever I tell you old people be knowing, I've told you Mike Waltz is out. And look, Pete Hegseth, as I said, it's going to take a little bit longer. Donald Trump likes what Pete Hegseth is doing as far as morale and recruitment, right? But every time you screw something up, or every time you don't live up to the job, every time you show people that you're not qualified, you can't just expect to run out and do burpees with the guys in the military or whatever. You can't just expect to go and do some sort of photo op and that it's all going to be okay. It just doesn't, okay, let's go out there, dude, and bro. All right. No, you have to actually do something. So Pete Hegseth, Don, you be knowing, I told you. And it's so, he's like, sources are telling me this. You don't need a source to tell you that. It's common sense. And you can see it always. Let me tell you a little secret about the Trump folks. You can always see how they really feel and what's going on. The biggest barometer for them and the measure of what they're doing, the biggest tell is the media coverage. Is how they do it, because it's all stagecraft, right? And so now, again, as I've been telling you, they're concerned that there's no good news at all coming out of the administration. So they're now trying to shape the narrative, as I've been telling you, I hate to keep repeating myself, by doing these morning press conferences. But what they're failing to realize is that these press conferences are drawing attention, even more attention, to the bad job that they're doing. If they, and I guess you probably don't want me to give them any advice. I should be in this White House giving them advice. Even as someone who does not support what they're doing, I should be giving them advice in this White House. Because you know what I would tell them to do? You know what I would tell them? I would tell them to shut the fuck up. I would tell them to keep their heads down and just do the job. I would say, just be quiet. And guess what? If you screw up, tell the truth and keep it pushing. But they can't help themselves. Because Donald Trump doesn't understand, like, when you're in a hole, stop digging. Whoever is advising them, whoever is doing their press, whoever is in the press office, whoever is in the communications office, they keep digging. Stop digging and stop bringing people into the Oval Office every day for these dumb little press ops, these camera, whatever you call them. Stop doing it. Photo ops, because you keep getting yourself into trouble. You know what you do? You stage them. You invite, say, oh, we're just inviting still photography in. You get a picture of the president and the cabinet, and that's it. Move it along. But, hey, I want to hear them glazing the president. I want to hear them digging themselves into a hole. I want to hear them blaming Biden for the economy because it sounds so fucking ridiculous. And I want to hear Pam Bondi not making sense, talking about the number of people, a number of lives that were saved when it's almost, we don't even have that many people in the country. Here's Pam Bondi. Listen to her now. Listen to this glaze. Best.
400 kilos of fentanyl since you've been your last 100 days, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk laced with something else. They don't know what they're taking. They think they're buying a Tylenol or an Adderall and a Xanax, and it's laced with fentanyl, and they're dropping dead, and no longer because of you, what you've done.
258 million lives. We have 340 some million people in the United States. That many people are falling victim to fentanyl. Now, I'm not saying fentanyl is not a problem, but Pam Bondi, if you're going to make up something, don't make up something that is so easily disproved and is so easily ridiculous. 258 million people, 340 million, about 347 million of the estimated population in the entire United States. That many lives? Really, Pam Bondi? Someone said she sounds like the woman on White Lotus. Hyper now. She does, actually. I wish we had that soundbite. If you can, find it for me from White Lotus. Piper, no. We have 248 million people that were sad lives were saved. Bam, 258 million people. Give me a break. Now, you guys, I don't know if you saw the news yesterday. I'm not sure if we have the headline. If you have the headline, producers find it. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday that Elon Musk, that the Wall Street Journal is reporting that since Elon Musk and some of the folks over at Tesla are denying that they are looking for a replacement for Elon Musk at Tesla. But according to the Wall Street Journal, and this is why I give it even more credibility, not that the Wall Street Journal deserves any more credibility than anyone else, but here's the thing. The Wall Street Journal is a Rupert Murdoch owned platform, right? Paper. And they are reporting that the Tesla board has opened a search for a CEO to succeed Elon Musk. They're looking to get rid of him. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, that's their reporting. They're saying that they're looking to get rid of him, that they've had a very serious meeting or meetings with him because they had one of their worst quarters in years. Their earnings, their company down 71% in the first quarter, their first quarterly earnings report of the year. They think he's spending too much time working with Doge and not enough time working at Tesla. They're also concerned about reportedly the image that it has portrayed upon Tesla, on the brand. And so now, again, the reporting from the Wall Street Journal is they're looking to get rid of him or replace him. But now, I think the reporting is that Elon Musk and Tesla are denying it. That they are denying. But here's Elon Musk in that cabinet meeting yesterday. Now check out the drip, the fit, as they say. Here it is.
Kelly, thank you very much. Elon, I love the double hat, by the way. He's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. It's true. Even my hat has a hat.
Okay. And so we'll see what happens with that reporting. Okay. We'll check it out and we'll see what happens with that reporting. Hang on one second. Okay. Great. Okay. So that's the reporting from the Wall Street Journal. You have Elon Musk there in the cabinet meeting. And then, so around the table, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but around this table yesterday, they had all of these red hats, and some of them said, make America great again. Others said Gulf of America, whatever. And that's the stuff that they're trying to put out there. Okay. So look, those are the hats. And so Elon Musk decided to put two on, and folks were putting them on and wearing them or whatever. And then this became just a big glaze fest yesterday at the White House. At the White House. Even Ann Coulter is speaking out about this White House meeting. This is what she says. Would it be possible to have a cabinet meeting without the Kim Jong-il style tributes? This is Ann Coulter. This is Ann Coulter, who is concerned about a dictatorship and that the cabinet meeting looks like North Korea. Now, when you've lost Ann Coulter, then you are in deep, deep, deep doo-doo. I don't understand how anyone can even just thinks that this is all okay. Now, there was the town hall. No, this one is ridiculous, and I'm going to show you, okay? How do I put this? Help me, y'all. So there was this town hall held on Newsmax. What is Nation? They're kind of all the same. On News Nation last night or yesterday. Wait till you see the rogues gallery of people, first of all, who questioned the president glaze the president yesterday, so he's getting it at the cabinet meeting and he's getting it on this town hall. And this is the first thing. Donald Trump was asked a question by, I'm like, Stephen A. Smith. Why is Stephen A. Smith there? Maybe they needed a black man, but not one that's going to stand up to the president. So Stephen A. Smith was there and asked him about Harvard, and I guess Donald Trump thought he meant Harlem. And now listen to this exchange.
Mr. President, thank you for your time. It's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view you?
Hold on one second. Maybe because there was a black man on there, he thought he was talking about Harlem. He was like, oh, here's a guy. He must be talking about Harlem. And then here comes Stephen A. Smith. Y'all know. Go ahead.
Actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness. What do you say to that?
Well, I say this: we had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happened to be on my side. You know, I got a very high black vote. You know that. Very, very high black vote. It was a very good.
That's bullshit. He didn't get a very high black vote. He got a higher black vote than I think anyone in recent history. But I think there was another Republican president, I think it may have been George Bush, I forget, but someone who got a higher black vote than him. That's bullshit. Did he get more this time? Yeah. Were there more? They thought that more black men were going to support him? Yeah. Black women? No. Pretty much the same amount as before. Black men, not as high as they thought. But it is, you know what? What's going on with these black men who are out here golfing with the president? What's up with Saquon Barkley? What's all this? There was someone who said that, I once said that black men want to speak of the bed, you know what? That they were the real bed, rhymes with hinges, than anyone out here, because they just keep cozying up. Maybe there's a proximity to whiteness. I don't understand what is going on. And a lot of sisters have been asking me that, and a lot of some black folks as well, and white folks have been asking me, what's going on with these black men? Like, what are they doing? Like, why is Saquon Barkley out here saying, well, I respect the office? You can respect the office. I would respect the office by saying I am not going to go to the White House because the occupant does not respect the office. I respect the office of presidency. But as soon as we get a president who is in the Oval Office, who respects that office, then I will go to the White House. But at this point, I'm not going. Now, I tell you everyone is in love with. Everybody is in love with it. Black, white, straight, gay, man, woman, whatever. And that's Jalen Hurts. They're like, Jalen Hurts is our king. If I see one more Jalen Hurts king out there is king on social media, I'm going to scream for joy because I love it, because he is. He's like, I'm not going to the White House. I'm not going to be a participant with this bullshit. Now, that is a real man. Thank you, that black man. Now, why didn't Stephen A. Smith say, I said Harvard, not Harlem. But they just sat there like, what was this? Keep going.
Great compliment to me. I did criminal justice reform. I did opportunity zones for one of the greatest economic deals ever for the black and Hispanic community. I got tremendous. They agree with what I'm doing with respect to Harvard. Harvard gets 4 or 5.
What did Harvard and Harlem, like, what was he talking about? And no one said anything. Like, no one said anything. What are they that nervous? Are they trying to glaze him up, prop him up that much? Like, Stephen A., why didn't you say something? Did anyone, I did not watch the whole thing, did anyone actually challenge the president? I'm sure or if they did they follow up on it? Like, what? Keep going. Is that the end of that one?
Yeah, that's the end.
Okay. Here is Bill O'Reilly. This question, I don't know what Bill was. He just doesn't sound as succinct as he used to. Here it is.
So, a series of rough polls this week, and I'm wondering how you process that. Does it hurt your feelings when you see numbers come in that are not what you'd like them to be?
Well, first of all, they're fake polls, and if you take a look at the polls, they interviewed more, and for the most part, they interviewed more Democrats. And
people, look at this. They're fake polls, and no one is like, they're just sitting there listening to it. They're fake polls because he doesn't like the polls. Maybe they did afterwards. Maybe they just say, look, this is the polling that has come out has been from some very reputable sources, Mr. Trump. Maybe they did. I'm sure they did. Right? Did they not? Because every poll that you don't agree with, that cannot be fake always. Okay. Let's see. Did they challenge him at all?
And they did Republicans, which is ridiculous and unfair, and Democrats aren't voting for Trump. And you look at him, John McLaughlin, who's the most respected pollster, said I'm at 50, 55, and maybe even higher than that. And he said that these polls are largely fake. When you look at the New York Times, when you look at the Washington Post, ABC, they predicted I was going to lose Wisconsin by 17 points, and I ended up winning Wisconsin. They predicted I was going to lose the election, and I ended up winning the election. They're fake polls, number one. And I think it's a very important thing to know that and to understand it. And because polls are no different than fake writers or journalism, and it's not a pretty thing when you watch. So when you say, am I bothered by it? If I was, I'd be really helped by the fact that in the election, we won in a landslide. We won the popular vote. We won the swing states. We won the districts, 2,750 to about 505. And the election took place just a short while ago, November 5th. I think it was
what's different now,
very
Mr.
big
President,
day for the country.
What's different now is the tariffs, and that's what's driving your numbers down.
Okay, now thank you. I'm glad he did say that. By the way, someone should have, why didn't anyone jump and say it wasn't a landslide? It wasn't a landslide. Now, look, he did win, but he did not win in a landslide. Why do people keep allowing him to say that? And he's still talking about numbers. He's still obsessed, and they're just kind of sitting there like bumps on a log and they're just sort of eating it. I don't know, but they could have used some coffee in that thing. I don't know what's going on. But Harvard, there were some protests in Harlem, and the blacks. That's why when I asked yesterday, is he all there? Because he couldn't understand what due process meant, and he couldn't understand the whole tattoo on the fingers thing with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. That's why I ask, is he all there cognitively? Just like I asked, similar questions as it relates to Joe Biden. I think that's a fair question to ask. Is Donald Trump there cognitively? If he keeps repeating it's true. Someone on TikTok said it must be true. But you know what? Look, when you win, you win. He won. But I think it's important to point out someone who is usually people just, they're like, oh, I'm afraid. Not afraid. They're just like, go away. And they are reluctant to weigh in on the process of the way our country's going, or the political process. And that's the people who have been in the election, who ran and who didn't win. Well, Kamala Harris is not afraid to doing it. She's stepping up and she's going, you know what? We have a problem and we need to discuss it. We need to be honest about it. And so this is her first major speech post-election, and I found it to be very interesting. Here it is.
We all know President Trump and his administration and their allies are counting on the notion that fear can be contagious. They are counting on the notion that if they make some people afraid, it will have a chilling effect on others. But what they're overlooking, what they have overlooked, is that fear is not the only thing that's contagious. Courage is contagious. The courage of Americans who are banding together in the face of the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history. Americans across the political spectrum who are declaring that the president's reckless tariffs hurt workers and families by raising the cost of everyday essentials, devastate the retirement accounts that people spent a lifetime paying into, and paralyze American business.
I think it was something that was very important that she said, the greatest man-made economic crisis. That's a really great way of encapsulating what it is, because it is a man-made economic crisis. This was a self-inflicted wound that just did not have to happen. Keep going.
Businesses, large and small, forcing them to lay off people, to stop hiring or pause investment decisions. The courage of Americans we are seeing who are rallying at Social Security offices to protect their hard-earned benefits. Of Americans who are speaking out to say, it is not okay to violate court orders. Not okay. Saying it is not okay to detain and disappear American citizens or anyone without due process. The courage of judges to uphold the rule of law in the face of those who would jail them. Of universities that are defying unconstitutional demands that threaten the pursuit of truth and academic independence.
Wow. Well, look, she didn't win, but I do think it takes courage to do what she's doing, because a lot of people are reluctant because they, you're just a sore loser. We don't care. You didn't win. Go away. That's what folks would say. But I think acknowledging the courage that people are having, the disappointment that they're suffering, the ways that they're fighting back, that they're finding the ways that they're finding to fight back. I think it's important for her to point out. Someone has to point it out. And she's doing it. And I believe Cory Booker is doing it. And I think there are others in the Democratic Party who are starting to do it. I may be missing some folks, but are starting to do it. And I think that is important to do. Now, let me just go back to our breaking news. Our breaking news is Mike Waltz, who's the head of the national security, is out. That's what the reporting is. Fox News is also reporting it. Here it is.
All right, there's a breaking news that happened in the commercial break. So what you're looking at photographs right now of Michael Waltz. He is the president's national security advisor, except for we just got news that he is going to be leaving the administration along with his deputy, Alex Wong. Of course, if you might remember the story of Signalgate. I don't know if that's for a particular reason, but there was some consternation among some people about Mike Waltz, who you might remember was a congressman, Green Beret, a long history and career in foreign policy. And I believe...
So there you go. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz out as predicted. Not a surprise to me. It may be a surprise to some. Hegseth, I believe, will come soon. There are going to be others. There will be others, and we'll see how they handle it. But again, this is my little secret that I've been knowing forever that I'm going to tell you. This is what you should know, is that you can tell how the Trump administration is doing by what? You can tell by the press coverage and what they're doing media-wise and how many events they're holding. Remember the whole thing that they thought that the whole, the roux of it all as we say here in the South. The root of it all were those rallies that got people fired up. So now they're trying to get people to get fired up through the media and actually through rallies as well, because they just had one the other night. So that's where we are. Did you guys want me to put this up? I'm sending this up. The 5 stages of White House employment. The 5 stages of White House employment. This is a classic. So you get your ready to go in, you shake the president, his blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, take the hat off and you're out. So everyone, look, there you go. Now you have it. So I want you to hit the thumbs up. I want you to hit the like and make sure you subscribe. It's right below near the Don Lemon Show logo. And also that's the subscribe button and it is free. Thank you, Rebecca Conklin. Because of Rebecca's generosity, 50 people get to become members of the Lemon Nation. So make sure you become a member. Thank you for that. And welcome to all of our new members. Kimmel Hickling, welcome. Nadia B, welcome. We are closing in on, what is it, 750,000 or is it 800? I forget where are we? We're closing in on. So for subscribers. So make sure you get us there and get us there soon. Jacqueline, welcome. Simi, again, Simi, oh my gosh. Simi, you're the best Christmas present. You're not a Grinch at all. Because of Simi's generosity, 20 people get to become members of the Lemon Nation. Caroline, welcome to the Lemon Nation. Again, all of our new members, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're almost 700K. So let's hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up button. And look, I'll just say this without giving away too much. I'm on the road, but just put some prayers up for me and my family, okay? And then I will keep you informed. But I'm going to see you back here at 5 o'clock Eastern time. And check out what we're going to drop at 2 o'clock today. But I'll see you back here 5 o'clock Eastern time for Lemon Live at 5. And I'll update you so you don't have to sit in front of the TV all day. You don't have to look at all the alerts and get all freaked out about everything. You don't have to do that. You can just tune back into us at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So until then, I'll see you soon. Turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you.